Thank you so much for joining me here on LinkedIn Live. My name is Makita Waterman, and today I wanted to talk to you about the overnight success that TikTok CEO Shou Chew has experienced. This was something I think a lot of people were not expecting. We all knew for the past few years that the social media app was being under scrutiny from a government perspective as far as updates in the United States, that the app was going to shut down due to cybersecurity reasons, not being sure where the data that's being stored, the data center for all my technology folks on the line, where they were storing TikTok user information, including location, age, etc. And now, as you probably are aware, it's all over the news. TikTok CEO Shou Chew has been in, I would call them kind of interrogative conversations with United States Congress, talking about the security of the app. But I wanted to focus more on why this man has used his personal brand, his personal strength, and his personal compassion to stand out unlike any other social media app that I personally seen during the pandemic. I'll just be conscious during the pandemic. So let's start off with the fact that Shou Chew is a family man. And this has nothing to do with his personal brand, because you and I both know there are a lot of family women and family men that do not have eloquence, charm, and communication skills to properly connect with users on their tech app, let alone sway people to understand really what his purpose is as far as the Congress conversation and him showing up on social media with his own account. Yes, probably some of you are thinking, well, Elon Musk has his own kind of audience on Twitter, which is true, but I personally, in my opinion, I don't really connect so much with Elon Musk and the Twitter experience. He just doesn't have, in my opinion, the charm and the finesse that Shou Chew has. But let's break it down. Shou Chew is not just a family man or the executive of one of America's or North America's most popular social media apps. He is a man that has a vision, and it's very, very clear. Way before, I think 72 hours before he had to go up against US Congress and tell them about, some of their concerns that they had with TikTok, he created a TikTok profile. Now, I don't know exactly when, but all I know is that he showed up on my For You page, aka timeline, on TikTok, basically being himself. He was honest, he was transparent, he was genuine and authentic, and let everybody know through that very short post that he was going to be interviewed by Congress. He was very specific about his numbers, knowing that about 150 million users use his app. He was also very specific about the number of business owners that use the app and business owners that have used TikTok, realty companies, construction companies, you name it, they're probably on there that have used it. And he shared his concerns with, obviously, the United States President and Congress, having concerns about security, children on the app, etc. And he also thanked people, which I think was extremely powerful, because it's one thing to say, hey, you're going up against Congress and show me support. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. He was very compassionate and used a lot of personal branding insights, which either he personally is like this in his day-to-day, or he obviously might have a really great team there at TikTok or consultants, much like myself, that have helped him to put this short video together. He explained that he wants people to feel, he wants creative people to feel happy and joy on the app. And I'm also confident that he also meant users who don't create as well. Shou Chew is intentional. He is from Singapore. I don't know him personally, but I'm going to sit here and think that this man is probably very either religious or spiritual. And I say that because his energy through every post that he does, including while he was being interviewed by Congress, it's very, very fresh. And the one thing I appreciated in his first TikTok post is he also, with his outfit, as I shared in my recent short video I shared here on LinkedIn, he basically was wearing a black hoodie, a white t-shirt, and a pair of baggy kind of jeans. The man looked like, if I didn't know he was a CEO of a social media app, I would probably think he's just like a manager or a team lead or a supervisor or a director at a company. So he came correct and ready, knowing that most of the people on TikTok do not have the mindset of a LinkedIn person where you're kind of super professional. They do not have an Instagram mindset where they're there to just see fancy clothes and fancy cars and people living their best life. These are regular, everyday people that use TikTok. Most of the time, they're dressed down. Even influencers dress down. We've seen many of these makeup tutorials where it's just a bare face with pimples and all kinds of blemishes, and then they make themselves up, and they're not wearing a fancy Chanel dress or something like that. A lot of the creators and users are in their pajamas using TikTok, in their hoodie, just like him, in their hoodie and their track pants just after being at the gym. He's fully aware of his audience, and every leader that's watching this right now and after, if you don't understand your user, your customer base, your employees to the T. I'm talking about before you as a leader go into a town hall meeting, an online webinar, and you're about to do your speaking points. If you don't understand what they could potentially say with objections, questions that they could potentially ask, obviously we are not mind readers. Unless you are super intuitive, you probably don't know everything that your audience is going to think or say when you do a video or a speech, etc. But if you are not like Shou Chew, fully understanding the mindset of your audience, their emotions, what makes them tick, and you're not spending time on your app, you're not spending time using your products, you're not living through your services, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to build a name for yourself, much like the CEO. Now, followers don't really matter, but I know that when Shou Chew was on TikTok, he did his first video. I think he had about less than 1 million followers. I think he's over 3 million now, and he doesn't post every day. He just posts just to let people know what's going on with his situation with Congress. I'm going to say, I'm just going off verbatim off my thoughts. I didn't really memorize this presentation, but recently I was on the app scrolling through my TikTok page, not thinking about anything about the CEO, and I saw his video on his profile come up, and he was testing out a filter. I mean, the CEO that goes on the app, dresses, and again, in this video, he was just wearing a t-shirt. He was testing out a filter. And I saw his personality. I saw someone who was probably a little shaken by the whole Congress situation, but I saw a man who exhibited strength, charisma, confidence, and self-awareness, and that is so important. Like I said, I don't know Mr. Chew personally, but I'm gonna just assume, because I've worked with a lot of executives, I've worked with directors, supervisors, I've worked with business owners. They all have a certain way about doing things, whether they're religious or they're spiritual, or they are really big in the law of attraction, kind of the secret kind of stuff, documentary stuff. They all kind of have this system of being very, very clear about who they are, their intention, and why they're waking up every day. Are there CEOs and executives and entrepreneurs and business owners that wake up just to make revenue and money and profits and losses? Of course, there are unpassionate people out there, but we're talking about somebody who is intentional in everything that he does. Now, when I watch him on his TikTok, I feel like I know this man. I feel like I've met him before, and he doesn't come with baggage, so maybe he has a therapist or a coach. I'm just assuming this man is very, very clear about showing up in a very organic way that is not robotic. And I'm going to make some comparisons. Mark Zuckerberg, you know, he's been criticized for a lot of different things, but just personality wise, I think the last time I saw him was, I think he was chatting with Gary Vaynerchuk a year or two ago about the metaverse. And not to compare apples with oranges, but he just, I can't explain it, but he lacks a sense of compassion and joy and happiness when he's speaking to people about new launches within his company. And I don't know where that comes from. It could be personal reasons. Maybe he's just That's a part of his personality, but the charming executive, the charming entrepreneur, the charming employee who's working on themselves behind the scenes, it will get everything they want, maybe not all at once, but let's keep going about Shou Chew. So other than personal style and all of the points that I mentioned, he has a way of using choice of words. I truly believe that when he is looking at the camera, he actually thinks that he's looking at every single user on the app. And I never hear him use technical words, executive words. I don't hear him use tech-based words in cybersecurity when he's talking to Congress even. He's just a man who speaks in a certain type of language so that even anybody that watches the news segment of him up against Congress and answering questions, they get it, they understand it. And here's the overnight celebrity part of this title that I shared here for you to really understand how powerful this man really is. Like, one of the things that I like doing as a content creator and somebody who just regularly does market research, I like looking at the comments of posts, especially viral posts that are pop culture related, business related, things trending in the news, etc. And people are saying Shou Chew for president. This is powerful. This is a man who's a CEO of a social media app. And people are saying that if he went for president, they would, vote for him. So this is like the powerful thing about leadership and communication. They even, some of the Gen Z and people were creating cap cut videos, and they're just like saying, like, I don't know, I'm not going to go into that kind of stuff, the non-professional videos that I saw of him, but he's become an overnight celebrity on the app. And a lot of people were even saying in the comments that they think he's a hero because he's not just the CEO that is the CEO who's hidden behind closed doors. He's visibly sharing his views. He even, after the Congress, like, this is how strategic this man and his team, or he alone, thinks. After the Congress interview, Shou Chew started meeting up with top influencers, dancing influencers, and we're doing dance steps on TikTok with influencers of all diverse backgrounds. There's nothing that was off to me when I see him show up on my timeline. And I don't even follow him. Obviously, he's going to trend because he's the CEO, but he even had attended this influencer. I'm not sure if it was in California or near his head office or at the head office. I'm not sure. But he even attended a social media TikTok influencer kind of event. It was outside. I don't know if it was rooftop, but he was there. He was speaking to people. I didn't see any disingenuine energy, or he didn't seem like he was discriminating against who he wanted to talk to. This man is like very, very aware of the atmosphere of the world that we're living in right now. And I also saw a video of somebody internally within TikTok. It was right after the Congress discussion, where he was in the office. There were employees there, and they were all kind of cheering him on. And he was kind of saying, "Oh wow, that he was talking a little bit about his experience being interviewed by U.S. Congress, but he just really is a people person. And it doesn't mean, leaders on the line watching this or after this, that you have to be a people person. If you don't need spiritualism or religion in your life, or therapy or coaching, that's really up to you. I'm just saying that all of these things really, I'm pretty confident, have made him the man that he is today. Now, I did a video on TikTok and went viral within, I think, less than 48 hours about him. It was the video that I shared here on LinkedIn. It was the short video, the green screen kind of style. And I compared him to Mark Zuckerberg only because Mark Zuckerberg was also interviewed by Congress as well. We've all seen some of those speaking points. And if you haven't, check it out on YouTube. Two different men. Like I said, I'm not comparing apples to oranges, but Mark Zuckerberg was very monotone and very robotic when he was up against Congress. And, sometimes this can happen. Sometimes people can start a company, create something that is profound. It gets billionaire, trillionaire status, multimillionaire status. and they're comfortable with that. And as a owner, a startup founder, whatever, of a very successful social media app, I do believe that where the executives are is where the company is as well. So Mark Zuckerberg, I personally think that maybe while he was there in Congress, he's a billionaire, he's got his wife, and he's got his lifestyle, and he was comfortable. And I saw that in his face when he was being questioned by Congress, and the company was comfortable. That's why TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Twitch and all these other video streaming apps started gaining momentum and taking a lot of the user base share from Instagram, Facebook, and Metaverse as well. And so all the leaders on the line, if you're comfortable with where you are, all the executives watching too, believe me when I say this, your comfort is also the comfort of your organization. And in a time and place where, yeah, there are a lot of tech layoffs, but I was talking to my dad about this the other day. There are a lot of tech layoffs, but a small percentage of these tech people in Silicon Valley and across North America that are getting laid off, they're going to turn into startup founders. They're going to design and develop apps. They're going to be potentially your competition. And don't ever sleep, meaning don't ever get too comfortable, because as an executive, a business owner, a leader, a manager, a director, once your comfort level sits there and it sits there and it sits there, trust me, people are watching your company, they're watching you, and wherever there's a problem, an entrepreneur or someone with a lot of creativity and risk-based way of thinking will swoop in and create a new product or a service, and your comfort could potentially be the downfall of your company. I hope that this doesn't happen to Shou Chew. This man is very powerful. He's got the Gen Z vote on the app. I've seen so many videos on this app of people talking about how they love TikTok. People said that they get their insights, stuff they can't see on the big news media outlets, because of TikTok. They see things happening in real time because most people in the US have a TikTok app on their phone. And it was really, really interesting how after he did that first video, before he had that interview with Congress, there were so many different influencers and non-influencers and creators and moms and dads and critics and every industry talking about how much they love the app, how much they appreciate that he showed up, how much they appreciate his visibility on the app, and how they look at him as a hero because he is showing up for not just Congress, but he's showing up for his audience on the app. He doesn't have, remember, everyone watching, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to take these points from Shou Chew. You don't have to be a visible leader. You don't have to show your face. Everything is a choice. But let's take a look. So other than that, I believe that I covered everything and more than I wrote down here on this notepad. But this is a really beautiful time to conclude for you as an expert. Let's say you're not a CEO and you're an expert, but you have a talent and a skill, and you understand that there are a lot of people that need to see regular non-celebrity people like yourself show up online, share content, share your tips, share your forecast, share your advice. You don't have to use this Shou Chew strategy. You don't. You can just create something completely different. You don't have to you don't have to be the best communicator. You don't have to be charming and compassionate and be perfect in the beginning. But all of this will come. And I'm going to be transparent with you as much as the points that I've shared here. I truly believe that the best leaders and the most monumental people in history that we will never forget for a lifetime are the people that worked on themselves. And I'm not talking about just mental health. I'm talking about they have a mentor, a coach, someone who's keeping them accountable on speed dial. In those moments of anxiety and fear and doubt and frustration, they pick up their phone or they get in their car and they meet with a professional in an office who can support them and help them and guide them, because as much as we're all beautiful, amazing people, we all don't have the answers. But guess what? The coaches, the successful people and coaches that have a track record of helping people like yourself, they all have experience and they have a track record of, hopefully you're choosing somebody with more than 5 or 10 years of experience if this is the route you want to go. But I believe that we're born with things, but I also believe that we can develop as well, much like Mr. Shou Chew. So thank you so much for joining. Anybody on the line that's watching and maybe you're not in my connections or following, plus the connect button and press the follow button because I go live every week.